Before we get to our show, I have an ask of you, the listener. If you're new to us, or you've enjoyed us for over the last 4+ years and have gotten value out of listening, whether that be a new place to eat or a conversation that you've enjoyed, please consider sending some value our way. If you'd like to send a monetary amount, you can do so via Venmo or PayPal, and we are at Faturday Omaha. That's FATURDAYOMAHA. We would appreciate it, and 20% of those funds will go to a food-based program or charity and add value to other people's lives. If you don't have funds to spare, we'd appreciate your time and skills in sharing us on social, recommending us to others, liking and subscribing to the podcast, or maybe you have awesome skills like graphic design, marketing, or anything else. Email us at FaturdayOmaha@gmail.com. Let's get to our show. You seem hungry. Good thing your table is ready with Faturday Omaha.
Faturday Omaha.
Eat this. The great part is I'll do some amazing professional intro like, hi, this is Dave with Faturday Omaha, and I am sitting in the palatial KIOS studios getting ready to talk to Jackie Robbins, who is the owner, operator, and pitmaster. We'll talk about that in just a second, for Rib Shack Omaha. And Jackie, how are you doing this evening?
I am doing excellent.
Well, good. Well, first of all, of course, I got to tell you, thank you for your time coming out, talking to me. I know there's always stuff to do at the restaurant all the time. And so thanks for coming out to see me. And you and I have been talking for months, if not more than that, on getting you on the show or doing something together. So I'm glad you're here. So thanks for being here.
I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
Oh, this is so good.
And thank you for what you do, because I'm sure, like myself and a lot of other restaurant owners, just to share the content and information. Like, I'm more hands-on. I kind of, on top of cooking, I do marketing. I do a lot, but some people don't have that or do that. So for you to share and show pictures and come out, and I you guys are really dear to my heart. What you guys do, take time out, to do that, because it's a lot of time and effort that you put into that,
Thank you.
The content and the writing and the pictures. And,
thank you.
And the food. I know that's fun.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The food is the fun part, but you're absolutely right. And thank you for mentioning that, because it does take some time. That we have such a great food community in Omaha. Mm-hmm. And, anytime you see a picture on Faturday or anything like that, it's going to be a place that Dave Zorko, if you bumped into me on the street, you're like, where should I go eat? It's going to be one of those places. We're not going to put any places on there that people shouldn't go. So if you see something on there, it's because I like it and I want to share it. And, Rib Shack being a little bit of a newer entry into the Omaha barbecue scene, but there's a lot of great Omaha spots that have really come up over the last couple years, you guys being one of them. But I sort of want to, let's start at the beginning, if you will, because if I recall, the original Rib Shack that you owned as well, and with your husband Malcolm, was in St. Louis, right?
Yes.
So tell me about how long ago was that, and maybe tell me a little bit about the vibe there, because you post pictures and things every once in a while, kind of throwback stuff to St. Louis, and it just looks like a fun and inviting place, of which your new spot is too. But tell me a little bit about how it all began.
Oh, yeah. So it all began early 2000. It was actually a family dream to have a restaurant, and my husband's dream. So we pretty much, at this time in our life, we were totally in a different space financially than we are now. Yeah. And I was actually, before we got into it, I was an insurance broker. I actually had my own agency, and my husband was a licensed plumber. So we were in totally different fields, even though cooking was always something that was a passion for both sides of our family. Yeah. Cook and have like recipes that go all the way back to grandma, and so we both cooking and food has always been just experience for us. Me and my husband, we always been natural, foodies, and love barbecue. And so the barbecue business, it just was came into our lives, by our mentor. He had just kept he knew we wanted to be in the restaurant business, and our Jerry Brown.
Okay.
He's in heaven now, but he was our mentor, our father, and he got us in the business and pretty much coached us along the way, and all his kids, and so we've been around a lot of restaurant owners, and all his kids are restaurant owners or chefs or cooks or caterers, and they have been successful as well. And we got into the business, and we, we really still, even though I like to cook and my husband liked to cook, we still, the business side of the cooking and business side is two different things.
Oh, yeah.
We went in blindsided, didn't really know a lot. So we learned and critiqued and kept going as we opened. But one of our things was, me and my husband, like I said, are foodies. So
yeah.
In designing the menu, I eat pork. This is funny, but he doesn't. So when we designed the menu years ago, we was Gordon according to our taste buds.
Sure.
On top of wanting to, prior to bagging up, before we opened, we went on almost like you. We went on a visit of variety of different barbecue places over. Like one of we were traveling because our youngest son, he was born with a birth defect, and we would have to go to this hospital called Dr. Paley's George Institute, where he had a procedure done, a limb lengthening procedure. And down there, it was McGray's Barbecue. He had this old like a truck and like the backyard style barbecue with the Carolina style sauce. So we would just, on our travel there and traveling during the summer, we would just hit from Texas to Oklahoma we were just hitting all the spots. Even in DC, we went to a couple barbecue, just tasting, and we like the food, just getting the experience and just pulling and grabbing and just trying to see, what we were gonna bring back home. And
right.
The biggest thing when we opened, we wanted to hit the areas, making sure that our sides were good and homemade, fresh, daily. The meat was good and tender. And we actually, we studied under Mike Mills. He's a barbecue legend. My husband and my son, we actually went to his classes and studied under him. So we were pulling, even though we had some barbecue knowledge is just cooking at home, and from my uncle back in the day, my uncle, my dad, they pit masters and love to cook and grill and be excited about getting new barbecue tools and all those things. We still we're really big on knowledge and trying to pull and gather, and so we just started gathering and pulling and just learning. We just jumped in, and we knew we wanted to hit all areas. We're making the sides good, the sauce was good, and our meat was good in quality. So we that was our first base of how we set, the tempo of the business. And then we wanted to make sure that the hospitality and the customer service was good, because in our community, and I love everybody, but in the African American community, it's always been kind of a thing where we've had poor customer service, or it's been a cloud that people would put over some African American businesses, and we just try to break those barriers down, that we as African American businesses, we can have great service, great customer service, great food, all the things that all restaurants have. So those were the barriers that we was trying to break, and being consistent. The consistency of opening on time, the consistency of having your food there, the quality of the food being stocked and everything. So those were the fundamentals of how we built our brand from ground level. On top of bringing the community side in. We always been heavily involved in the community. So in St. Louis, we would we would do charity work. I was a part of this organization called #LunchBag, where we would gather. It was all based off. It started in California, based off of social media, where people from all race. It was so beautiful, from different nationalities, every white, black. It was just like the true meaning of how you're supposed to gather together to support your community. And we would come together, and with my suppliers, I would get them to sponsor, and we were like one of the major sponsors and organizers, a part of that partnered with another young lady. Her name was Shanice McComb, and she was the head of it. And me and her together, we would feed over 1,000 people.
Oh my gosh!
A month.
Wow!
And one of the most beautiful things was, on top of that, was being able to provide jobs, because I never forget one time in my life at our downtown, because we had 2 locations.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we had 2 locations, and both of our locations was a brick and mortar standalone, and we always had drive-throughs.
Oh,
so it was, the concept has always been a takeout style concept, but you can dine in, and we had the soul food. Our menu was 3 times as big.
Oh my goodness.
We had meatloaf. We had every day. We had string beans, mashed potatoes. We had turkey wings. We had beef ribs, turkey ribs, spare ribs, baby back ribs.
Oh my
we had
goodness.
bratwurst. We had, our menu was huge.
Yeah.
It was huge. And I mean, like everybody had their favorites, but we sold a lot.
Wow.
Yes, of everything. Here, the brisket and the pulled pork have become more popular here.
Sure.
I mean, it's popular in St. Louis, but here is more of a demand.
I see.
Than St. Louis was for us in our community, because we served everybody. That's the most beautiful thing to me about food.
Yeah.
Because everybody comes together to eat. It's no white and black. It's no racial boundaries.
Right.
It's just a beautiful thing that you can serve, and people to come together.
Yeah.
So, in telling my story about the young man, I gave a young man a job, and I never forget the feeling of just, being more than just a restaurant, but being really, I call myself a food philanthropist.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
Yes. So being able to touch lives and help the community, I feel that's like our due diligence, what we supposed to do. And I never forget when the young man, we had a back to school event with #, the organization. We would put on this big back to school event. I would get with the aldermen of the community. They'll let me block off the street, and I would do backpacks and food, feed the whole community. I mean, thousands of I would partner with like Walmart and different organizations to help, put this on.
Yeah.
And it would be so beautiful. And this young man, he was helping in the lot, just came out picking up trash, and he just came out of the blue just trying to help.
Sure.
And I was like, "You need a job?" He was like, "Yes, I got him a job." And mind you, he was homeless. He had been staying in a tent down the street, because the homeless community is really, really, where we were at was really at a high rate. And they would sleep under the bridges and tents and different things. And I just thought that was such a beautiful thing for me to be able to give someone a job. And then the touching piece of when he did get his first check, and he came and he's screaming and crying, Miss Jackie, I got the keys to my apartment."
Oh my gosh.
And that was like,
wow.
Like, I'm a faith person. I'm like, God, that is what this is all about. That's what I do. That's to make the difference and change somebody's life. Because it's one thing to feed someone, but to make a difference where you provide a job for them to keep going. So.
Wow. So you had the 2 restaurants, the big menu, these large events. That's such an awesome story. So I love the fact that, like, you set out with this business plan to provide all aspects of the things that you would like to see in a restaurant, I think. And then not only that, but the result of doing what you love and what you wanted to do, then resulted in like an unexpected impact on people and community, which is really cool. My goodness. Well, but before we leave St. Louis and make it to Omaha, which is where Rib Shack is currently, so tell me a little bit about what makes St. Louis style barbecue St. Louis style barbecue.
St. Louis style barbecue, what makes it is the flavor. I say the flavor because it's no flavor like I don't know if you've seen it, but we got ranked in 2022 as the world's best barbecue. World's best. St. Louis did.
St. Louis did.
St. Louis got ranked as the world's best barbecue, and I thought that was so awesome. But I just really believe it's the flavor because everywhere you go, people it's the flavor that's put into the barbecue. It's not just the technique, but it's more so to me the flavor.
Gotcha. And do you guys, and you don't have to give away any Rib Shack secrets, but I'll ask, what type of woods do you guys usually use for most of your barbecue? And you can say, I can't tell you, that's okay.
I'll give you a little taste.
Right.
I do put a little cherry in there.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
A little touch of cherry.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, because I know if you start asking pit masters about what's in your rib rub, that type of thing, it's like, that's dangerous territory, so I don't want to get there. Okay, all right.
But I do have to brag. I make my own rub.
Nice.
I make my own seasoning. So
awesome.
The sauce, I'm in there. I have to make it from scratch. Prayerfully, we working towards getting grants and different things so we can get the seasoning in a bottle or whatever. But
yes. So if I wanted some Rib Shack rib rub at home, then that might happen. Oh, that'd be kind of nice. Yeah. Thanks for being part of our show. We're going to head to a few messages, but Faturday Omaha will be right back with Jackie Robbins of Rib Shack. Quick break, and a note that if you'd like to support our show, you can do so via Venmo or PayPal with the handle at Faturday Omaha. That's FATURDAYOMAHA. And if money isn't the thing, but you have talents or time you can lend our way, just shoot us an email at FaturdayOmaha@gmail.com or share and interact with us on social and help us grow. Back to the show. Welcome back to Faturday Omaha. Dave Zorko here, and today we're talking with Jackie Robbins of Rib Shack Smokehouse at 10841 Q Street, Suite 105. She and husband Malcolm have been through so much, but you will see a smile when you see Jackie, and some barbecue just might put a smile on your face. Let's get to the show. Well, speaking of Rib Shack and home, since Omaha's home currently.
Yes, it is.
So how does Rib Shack in Omaha, roughly off 108th and Q there, how does it differ from the St. Louis location? And how did it get started here?
We came here not for a restaurant, even though we were in the restaurant business, barbecue business in St. Louis. We came because my husband, Malcolm, needed a heart transplant. This Rib Shack, different from the other one in so many ways because this was a blessing to us. You know, we had been at a high level one point a time in our life where we were, our sales were consistent at million in sales. We were at a height, where we built a business from ground level and then come down where you don't have anything anymore. All the success, all those things that we had, we didn't have anything.
You're back to the beginning again.
Back to the beginning again, and all that success and everything couldn't get my husband a heart.
Oh my gosh!
He came on a mission by himself to Nebraska. 2018 after we closed. We closed in 2016.
Okay.
Rib Shack. He had this was the first time out of the time we had been in business that he had more of a life and death situation come about. Throughout the time in business, he had heart failure and heart issues. 10 years in the business, but this was the first time that we had, because he had went into a coma. He had a brain bleed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he had an LVAD, which is a left ventricle device, and some people use it as a destination. Some people use it as a bridge to transplant. Malcolm's was a bridge to, transplant.
Thank goodness.
Yes. Yeah. But in the process of waiting, he went through a lot of trauma. He had the brain bleed and the stroke. went into a coma and was in the coma for 30 days and 5 open heart surgeries total.
Whoa.
4 strokes, brain bleed. So a lot of trauma he went through. And actually, when he was talking about coming to Omaha, I'm like, because by this time his heart had failed. It was at 7% after going through this trauma. He barely could walk when because it took about 2 years to recover from all the trauma that he had went from the brain bleeding stroke. And I'm like, he was talking about coming to Omaha by himself. I'm like, you crazy? You talking about going to Omaha? You barely could walk, and I'm not going to be there, family, and then we don't really have financial, support or help like we used to.
Right.
He was determined. He said, I don't know what the outcome's going to be. I might not make it, but I'm going to try. And he came. He stepped out on faith, and he came. And 2018 is when he got here.
Yeah.
And it took a process, because in the transplant world, you had to. If he would have went to Joplin, Missouri, or Kansas City, Missouri, he would have been in the same region, and he could have just, stayed on the list. But when he stepped outside the region and come to Nebraska, he had to start the whole process over. And by this time, heart at a different level. Now we dealing with the brain issues and the heart. So it was a gamble.
Yeah.
But God was in control. He got on the list. In July of 2020, during the pandemic, the most craziest time of the world.
For sure.
He got the call. And
wow. And so they actually did the transplant during the pandemic. So that's just multiple levels of wow. Well, and just listeners, by the way, Malcolm is like sitting like right here. So he's okay. He's all right. He's all right. Let's we're going to keep putting positivity in here, which obviously we're getting to that part of the story too.
Yeah, we're getting to that.
So yeah. Oh
so
my gosh.
yes, he's good. God blessed him. He got the heart. Literally right when he was about to give up, he was like, how am I getting the heart? And because at this time I had left home. So another piece about me that you have to know about, I started having a passion after I left home, my dad had passed. Malcolm came to Nebraska. I went to Georgia, but ended up living in Birmingham. But I started helping other restaurant owners develop a hardship plan or some type of plan to put in place, because especially small businesses, and especially in the African American community, it would be a lot of restaurants that used to be there, and because we didn't have our financial or our foundation strong for when a hardship, or because a lot of us, like myself, we're in the business. So if someone gets sick, and if we don't have that procedure, the policies in place, or for the business to keep going, then a lot of times, or the financial backing and support, a lot of times the restaurants, end up closing. And then you'd be like, I remember such and such over there. They used to have the best, this and the best.
Then they're not there.
They're not there. Like I used to hear about, like we always ask, who was the best barbecue? Like they used to say, Skeets used to be on 24th Street.
Yeah, Skeets.
I guess he passed away, and nobody wanted to keep his legacy going. And, So I started kind of like doing that and start helping restaurants.
You know what's so interesting about that? So you were doing that, was that like 2019, 2018?
2018.
2018. So unbeknownst to you, 2 years later, there's a global pandemic.
Right.
And probably, I'm hoping so, that some of those restaurants that you helped out to give them that financial backing plan and that preparation, maybe some of them weathered the pandemic better because of your help ahead of time. That's
they
really
did, and they
cool.
Still doing good, and they expanding and getting having multiple other locations now. And so yes,
that's
they
great.
did great. Yes.
Wow. Okay, so we're gonna have to have like episode 2 or something. I don't know. So in Omaha, so you came to Omaha because Malcolm needed a heart. Malcolm got a heart, thank goodness, right?
Yes,
and so yes, we are good there. And what month or what day, give or take, did Rib Shack open in Omaha? When did that happen?
So Rib Shack opened March of 2021. Actually, we had our grand opening in March of 2021, but we actually didn't open until that Easter weekend of 2021 or whatever. So, but we got blessed with Rib Shack because it wasn't planned. Like I didn't come and say, "Ooh, I'm coming for a Rib Shack." Just strictly for Malcolm. Got blessed with it. I tell everybody all we had was our faith, our smoker, and our recipes.
I love
Didn't
it.
have the traditional startup capital. So the grind was a little harder, and open during COVID. So it was made it even tougher, and then a new market trying to learn because, we couldn't, I took some stuff from the menu that we had in St. Louis, but I couldn't take everything. Because first it was just too much. COVID, you didn't have access to a lot of things that you normally would. And then not knowing, how the market, would take it. You had to, everybody loves barbecue and everybody loves Southern style, but still not knowing the full market, I didn't want to just have our menu. Our menu is already broad our way.
It is big because you got like 2-3 types of ribs easy because you got the beef ribs, pork ribs, turkey ribs. That's already a lot plus everything else and all the sides. So even your current menu kind of big.
Yeah, it's big. Yes. Yeah. So we opened up and Malcolm had got COVID and he was still
so recovering from the heart.
So it was me. I was taking orders.
I know, because every time I was in there, I saw you doing everything. Yeah, with a smile on your face every time.
Thank you. Yes. So but I'm happy. That's what makes it different. This time is more. I mean, we always had a personal touch and with and good customer service, but more so I was on the management side training everybody. Now this is like me in the heart of the business. That made it different. And then now when Malcolm's getting better, he comes to, help out sometime. I mean, he can't really work like, he would before he got sick, but he still, people like to see him, so he likes to show his face and be there. People like, they want this Malcolm got the heart. Some people, he likes to be there. But I got my son just come to help. Got my daughter, so we got he's like a father to me there, and he's working there, and just people and we built it off of volunteers because I didn't have anybody helping, and people I didn't even know people here,
right? Because you're brand new to the community,
brand new, and people were coming out like business owners was coming just helping.
That's
really
great.
the first year, and really this year too has been really family and volunteers. I haven't fully had a full team, but that's the difference. That's the biggest difference because before I had over 50 staff. I had a lot of people now.
Yeah, with the 2 restaurants and all that.
But this has now just been me and family and friends just coming together and just helping, and so it's been a totally different, and the connection of we have with our customers has been different because now like they get to meet me and we just like a bond, and I really love Omaha because I love to see people still take their moms out and their dads. They have a meet like I met you and they come and have
you met half my family that day.
That's how I feel. Like I be like everybody's family when they come to the Rib Shack. Like we become family. I get to meet the mom, the grandma, and it's just a personal. So that to me is the difference from St. Louis. We knew people, but it wasn't that family touch, personal. It's just the vibe is different.
Dave here. Hope you're enjoying our talk with Jackie Robbins. She's the one you might hear a, "Hi, welcome to Rib Shack," when you go for a bite. You can find them at 10841 Q Street, Suite 105. And you can find the rest of our conversation right here. This discussion here is going to be a little bit of roller coaster. So we went down, we came back up. I'm going to take it down a little bit because I want to talk about this just real quick, and then we're going to bring it back up again. I'm going to talk about the easier of the two topics, which is that people kept stealing your signs. What's up with that?
Yeah, that was...
Is that done yet? People stop stealing Rib Shack signs, please?
Well, we don't have any signs out right now for them to steal.
Oh, so they're just gone.
So they're gone because we got really tired of replacing because it had just been ongoing, and we tried to do an investigation to see. We found one, but we wasn't sure, who was around it to the point we had to councilman come out, and he was like, it wasn't them doing it. It wasn't the city. Because, we tried to do our own little investigation, like, okay, who could have been,
make
maybe
sure it wasn't the city, like, we didn't have a permit or something.
Yeah,
or
making
whatever.
sure we were in compliance, because we're new. We don't know.
Sure. Lots of rules.
And every state is different. So
right.
we was trying to learn, and, we haven't put any more out, but which now people know about us a little bit. So we're not where we were last year. We're still not where we want to be or where we were. We're not even halfway where we were in St. Louis, but we just grateful to be here, because after we lost our son this year.
That was the hardest thing that I was going to get into. My gosh, after coming here and Malcolm with a heart transplant, and then you lost your son.
Yeah.
So and he was living in St. Louis at the time.
He was living in St. Louis.
Jiminy Christmas. So if I recall, you guys had to travel back down there for a while. And
yeah,
things
but
like
we
that.
just stayed there because they had other kids, and just the money. We didn't have the money to be going back and forth, and then on top of that, we didn't know what really happened. We were trying to get answers, and we had to bury him, not really knowing all the details about what happened to him. So that made it hard. But so we came back. We were like, financially, we didn't have the money to have to be enclosed to start.
The clothes. You've been through COVID. I'm sure. There's. I have a feeling there's ongoing medical bills to keep Malcolm, because I think before this interview you said you were up at the hospital with doing things. So, and then to having to travel down there, and I have children as well. I can't imagine that level of sadness on top of, and then when you come back, then you have to deal with the financial impact of the thing that's still providing for medical care for Malcolm and your own income and those things. And that is so much on your shoulders. It's so much. But somehow this is where I wanted to bring it back up again. You fought through that. You fought through losing your son and all these things, and you still have a smile on your face every time I see you. What continues to drive that smile to keep reappearing on your face all the time?
I think it's all of the above. The community, like one lady that she's my good friend, Miss Kathy. Like when I came back, you never know what people going through, and then you never know how your story can impact and help somebody else to keep going. So I think all the above, the community, they've been so. Everybody, we love Omaha. Like Omaha is our home, our family. We love Omaha. Like a lot of people be like, Omaha. People be wanting, but you guys don't really realize, coming from living in a big city. I lived in St. Louis, Atlanta, Birmingham. You really don't understand what you have. You have a really good thing here, and we love the people that like. They family, and one of my customers, she lost her son.
Oh my gosh.
And we were on the news together, and we had, she had been coming, and I knew her. I knew her by her name, and she would come and support us. The little time we had been open, we hadn't been open that long before we lost our son.
Yeah.
And then when we came back and we decided to open, which was hard, and our other kids was like, Mom and Dad, that our son, his name is Malcolm, but we called him JR because he was a junior.
Oh, sure, right on.
So they said JR would want us to open and keep going. So when they said that was like our motivation to keep going and keep the legacy of our family business going, to be able to help family if we need help, the community, because that's really what the drive behind what we do, being able to help people, and as we keep going, that's the energy and the drive to be able to be in that position, on top of seeing smiles when they taste the good food, and they be like, oh, you got the best ribs, and there's one customer had requested me to make some apple cobbler. I never had made apple cobbler before. He's like, please make me some apple cobbler. I'm going to tell you what else. I took his advice, and I add my own little recipe and tweak, and I made apple cobbler. And he was like, see, she made me apple. I made it enough to sell for everybody.
Oh, so you made a lot.
I made a lot, but just those things are in meeting. We meet a lot of great people. We meet people from Alaska, Colorado, people passing through, going to New York. And just people just stop through, and everybody has a story. And Miss Kathy, her story, me and her become good friends from that. She checks on me, I check on her, and the bonds you get, and connect with people, and it's like, we got a lot of friends and family now. We came with not really having a lot of people we knew here, but now it's like we just been bonded with the community and just friends and family, and I'm excited about just being here.
That's so great, and I like what you said a little bit ago, which was, you don't know somebody's story. And there's a phrase that I really like, which is assume positive intent. So, let's say somebody works for you and they come in and they're real angry or they're late that day or whatever. Like, you've got a couple of options. You can be mad at them for being late, or you can ask them the question, are you okay? Because you don't know what happened to them on the way to work. If you were to bump into somebody, or I am in, what's going on? And, you don't know that maybe somebody had their sign stolen that day, or, somebody spilled coffee in their lap or whatever. And so I love that is, hear somebody out, see what they have to say. The Rib Shack is a welcoming place. Even, I think I was there, I don't know, maybe the first week or two was real quick after you guys opened. I don't even think you had got all the paint on the front counter yet. It was like half painted because you were still construction and all that kind of thing. It's so neat to see the fact that the community has welcomed you, that you feel welcome. That makes me so happy that the other businesses around Omaha, because that's one thing that I've observed too. It seems to me that most of the businesses, the restaurants around Omaha, if you're down on your luck or you're having a bad day, they're going to do everything they can to help you out.
Yes, I think so, and I love that about Omaha, because we have met a lot of great people in the restaurant. From Miss Gladys, Big Mama, she comes support us, and like she knew what she ordered catering from us, and some of the stuff we make she makes, but she came to support, and she's been like a big sister, mentor. Just even though I've been in the industry for a long time, but I always say you always need a mentor, even no matter how smart or how much knowledge you have, you always need somebody that you can go to, and and so I love her dearly, and she support me and I support her. And
if I could get Big Mama's mac and cheese and Rib Shack mac and cheese like in the same meal, I might just be done right there, like with life, because both of you make I love creamy mac and cheese, and you both just nail it. I love that so much. So that's cool. Yeah, Big Mama's is doing good things, but that's fun too that you said that you always need a mentor. I was at a virtual conference recently, and it was pointed out that everybody can use a mentor. And the other thing, too, is you can have multiple mentors, too, and that's okay. And feeling, maybe vulnerable is the right word, but like you have to be strong to run a business. You have to be knowledgeable, but it's okay to still ask questions and ask for advice. And you'll, like you said, you said, like through your traveling, that you like to learn and grow. And it's the same thing of talking to other people, and for Big Mamas and Gladys and reaching out and seeing maybe what's going on, because your restaurants are in different areas, so maybe seeing what's going on in each place, or in navigating the Omaha scene. That's beautiful. That's so great.
Yep. And even our friend, we went to go see our friend at our pool barbecue. Yeah.
Oh yeah, down there in Rockbrook. I haven't been down there yet.
Yeah, that's pretty good. We had those pork fries, and it's really good. Corey's he's a great guy. Yeah, he's really great. We met him, and people were like, "Okay, who's your competition?" Like, I honestly feel that in the restaurant, and especially in the barbecue, it's really no competition, because everybody have their own flavor.
Right. True.
We got St. Louis style Southern soul food and barbecue. You're coming for that Southern soul food, comfort, hospitality. Then you might have a Texas style. Then you might have this Kansas City style. Everybody has their own flavor. So, when people go for that flavor, that experience, so they know what they're going for. So it's, to me, I don't look at, even when I was in St. Louis, we had Miss Robbie, which was a mentor of mine, Sweetie Pies, and us. We sold a lot of the same stuff, fried chicken. We had a lot of stuff that was similar, even though we was a barbecue place. We had a soul food. side. So, but we didn't look at her as a competition because you know what you're going when you come to Rib Shack, and you know what you're going for when you go to Sweetie Pies, you know. So it's like, you know, we got our own style flavor, you know, and
Right. I think that's so neat because there's that phrase out there, rising tide lifts all boats, and like you're taking care of each other and you're coming up together and supporting each other.
Yeah,
and
that's what it's
awesome.
about. That's what it's about.
Thanks for being part of our show. We're going to head to a few messages, but Faturday Omaha will be right back with Jackie Robbins of Rib Shack. Last stop before the end of the show. If you've got value in your life from our show, be that entertainment, information, or maybe just a laugh, please consider sending value our way via Venmo or PayPal with @Faturday Omaha. That's FATURDAY OMAHA, and 20% of monetary contributions will go to a food-based program or charity. Truly, thank you for listening and all your support. Welcome back to Faturday Omaha. Dave Zorko here, and today we're talking with Jackie Robbins of Rib Shack Smokehouse at 10841 Q Street, Suite 105. Let's get to the show. You are a female pit master, and so speak to me on this.
Yes, I'm a female pit master. I make all my seasoning, my rubs. We always been in the business, and I always like train and my son and work, but I've become hands-on where I had to, you know, I'm preparing my own pulled pork and my brisket, you know, and letting it cook and getting that technique, trying to be consistent with what we do, you know, because we already pretty much had our own our recipes in place that, you know, we had. So and I'm excited because I'm gonna be in my first competition, because we never did competitions, even though we were in the barbecue. Because normally competition people, they start off competition and then they go to a restaurant or a food truck or something like that.
Right.
The competitions is to build their momentum up to get to that. So I'm doing the opposite. We already have a momentum built up, or, you know, where we have a restaurant.
Right.
So now I'm doing the competition side, and it's fun. I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to connect with some other champions like Blaine, Porky Buzz. He came to he's a great guy. He came out to our opening when we opened up. Awesome. So that was really nice. So just the love. So I'm excited to connect with him and learn, because I don't know about, this is going to be my first time in the competition. So I don't know all the techniques and so I'm excited. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, and see, that was actually one of the reasons that I got my KCBS, my barbecue judge certification, because you always, the dialogue online and social is always interesting around barbecue. Barbecue and pizza are like so polarizing topics, right? And it was like, well, this isn't competition, or this isn't competition. And I think Blaine would tell you that, you know, what's served in most restaurants is different than competition, because competition is very specific and it's really focused on, and, you know, there's the presentation thing. And it was interesting to learn, like, things like, okay, you can only use green lettuce in there for your box as you present it to the judge. You can't put any red lettuce in there or pieces of foil, because it's marking, and it's so you have to do all these different things. So it was so interesting to learn all those nuances. So how are you prepping for this, and when is this competition?
It is let me tell you now, it's coming up in January.
So really soon here then from the recording, because we're recording in December right now. So depends when this episode is released, the results may already be in.
Yeah,
so.
It's actually the end of January 27th and the 28th. It's for St. John Community Outreach Church. They do like a fundraiser. Yeah. So
how cool is that?
So yeah, I'm excited about this. Last year, because last year we was one of the pastors that's part of it. He comes to the restaurant, and he was trying to get us involved. To, you know, it will help too people know more about us as well.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
And but that was around the time our son passed, so we weren't able. We were out of town. We didn't get a chance to. So I'm doing this for him. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna taking it all away. Yeah,
That's
taking
awesome.
it all the way.
So what do you have your meats picked out? What
Well,
categories?
they want you to do ribs, so I'm
Okay.
gonna do the ribs, and I'm gonna probably do pulled pork. I do pretty good on all the meat, and we actually went to a class at Helping You Barbecue. They're really good too.
I love that
So
spot.
if you stop learning, you really stay stuck. You always got to
bet.
stay learning and stay reading and learning and stuff. And
Yeah.
it'd be so funny because I one thing, a lot of customers, they come in and they be like, before you guys here, I just started doing my own meat, and and they'll come in and they be like, I got this one customer. He's a police officer. He brought his pulled pork. Taste this.
Oh.
It's so funny. Like people like really they into their barbecue and here and there. And so that I love that about Omaha. They like, I got this smoker and I do my own pork, and so I cooked about 80 pounds and
Oh my gosh.
maybe, so yeah, it'd be fun to hear like what other people are doing. And so that's fun and talk them, and people they stick their chests out about what
Right, so my barbecue, my rib rub, whatever.
Yeah, so that'd be fun. I like to hear those things too.
That's great. And when I was doing the barbecue class, they brought in some folks that were competitors, because it was neat for the competitors to hear how they're being judged, so they understand that, and then also the perspective of what the competitors want to see, and they just want to see fairness and good opportunity and those kind of things. But one of the things about the barbecue community, from what I've seen, is just that, like you said, how people help each other. You're probably not giving away your secrets on your rib rub, but you're going to talk smokers and temperature and all of these things, and the investment that a barbecue competitor puts in to maybe just walk away with nothing, spending money on all the meats, the travel, the fuel, all those things. It's a labor of love.
Yeah, it is a labor of love.
Oh my goodness.
And sitting around talking and meeting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I've talked to him through Instagram, but I'm waiting to meet Big Mo Mosen. He has his own show.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, and he's in Iowa.
Right on.
So I wanna meet. He's like one of the top competitions. He done won like the all over. Yeah, just.
We'll get with him and Blaine, and you'll be in good shape, because we got some good competitors here too.
Yeah,
I
see. Yeah, Blaine. Yep.
Dave Zorko here, taking a moment to mention that we have Jackie Robbins, owner and operator of Rib Shack here in Omaha, on the show today. Her restaurant is newer to the area, but Jackie's no stranger to barbecue, as Rib Shack got its start in St. Louis. We've just begun our talk, so keep listening for more conversation. So you had mentioned somebody dropping in saying, hey, they were cooking, 80 pounds of pulled pork or something like that. So I was reading a book or an article about, the type of practice somebody gets being in the restaurant industry. You might be good making a chicken at home or cutting a couple of vegetables, but at restaurant scale, it's different, right?
Totally different.
So much. So on just roughly, do you know about how many pounds of say pork ribs you guys go through in a day or a week, or how much meat are you guys cooking?
Yeah, right now we are at we at about maybe about 50, 60 slabs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we doing about 50 or 60 slabs. We ain't got to 100 or 2. We was in St. Louis, we was doing 200 or 300, because our smoker can hold about 300 slabs.
That was going to be my next question. How much can the smoker hold?
But yeah, we doing about half of that. It varies. Sometimes we're at 50, 60, but which I'm grateful for, because I'm grateful for where we at now, because last year we were at maybe I was doing I might have been only doing 20, just
good.
so we have progressed, ramping up. So I'm so thankful that, it's progressing, every day. And
that's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And is the smoker that you guys have there, because it sits close to Rib Shack there, is that the same smoker that you had, or one of them from St. Louis? Okay. All right. So Malcolm and yourself now know that smoker real well, because that's one of those things that you got to learn how it heats and cooks and where to put things, right?
Yes.
So, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. All right. Well, before we kind of wind things down here a little bit, I know we talked about a couple places that you visited. I know I bumped into you at Dirty Birds and things like that. Anything coming up at Rib Shack? You got the competition coming and those type of things. I guess anything people should look out for next time they stop in?
Well, a couple of things coming up. Holiday season, I'm doing my pineapple glazed ham. That's delicious.
Yeah.
So, and fried and smoked turkeys. We got combos that they can get, family meals that are really good. So we're preparing for the holiday season, holiday catering. But also, we took that same momentum of being impactful in the community, and we trying to do at least one fundraiser a month to try to help local nonprofits. And our fundraisers, we typically do an all-day fundraiser, and we give 20%. We help them raise money, and we give 20% of what they raise back.
Great.
And they have to help promote it. And
you got to get people there.
Get people there, so they get the people there. We gonna show up and make sure we got the food. And it's a great partnership. And another dear thing that we have to our heart is this Saturday we're feeding the Ronald McDonald House.
Oh, nice.
And we used to do it in St. Louis. We used to be one of those families that stayed at the Ronald McDonald House because our son
get a chance to give back.
Yeah, our son had a birth defect, and I was telling you we were traveling to Florida, and we started out in Baltimore. The doctor, that's where he used to be at in Sinai Hospital, and then he ended up building his own institute in West Palm Beach, Florida. And so we would be that family that, we would have to travel because he had this procedure done called limb lengthening. And we would have to travel every 2 weeks, to the doctor. Oof. And that was expensive, having a family already. And, we wasn't even in the restaurant field at first when he first started. So, the Ronald McDonald House, that was a blessing,
You bet.
To be able to stay and not have to worry about, you already worry about your child and the health and all that. So when God blessed us, got us on the other side, we started giving back. We started in St. Louis, connected with the Ronald McDonald House there, and we would merge with other partnerships with other business owners and friends and family to get them to participate and do food and toys. And so this Saturday we decided we're going to be at the Ronald McDonald House serving Rib Shack, and we have partnered with the Salvation Army, and they're donating toys to the kids.
Oh, that's great.
So this is just who we are, and we're just excited to be able to do these things and be a part of the community. So we're looking forward to that. So that's what we got coming up this month.
Yep. And so if people want to, because by the time they're going to hear our voices here, that event will have been gone. So if people want to keep track of what's happening at Rib Shack, whether that be helping the community or exciting specials or things like that, where can they find you? What's your exact address, and where should they find you in the World Wide Webs to keep track of you there?
Okay, we are at 10841 Q Street, Suite 105. We are on the southwest side of the corner of 108th and Q.
Perfect.
And you can find us in the Old Roxbury Plaza. Also, you can follow us on Facebook right now, Rib Shack Smokehouse. And our website is ribshacksmokehouse.com as well. So just look on all the social media platforms. You'll see Rib Shack or hashtag Rib Shack Smokehouse, and you will find us and see what's going on.
Perfect. I love it. And the one thing is I can guarantee if you walk in and Jackie Robbins is there, you're gonna get a smile in the door. And when you try that food on your plate, it's very likely that you're gonna have a smile in your tummy too, because and just just make sure you get some mac and cheese too for me if you like mac and cheese because like I kind of want some like right now. But so anyway, Jackie, thank you, and Malcolm, who is right here. You didn't get to hear him on the microphone, but I appreciate you both being here.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's been so good. I'm so glad we got to make this thing happen. Yes. And I know you guys are busy with so many different things. And thanks for talking to me. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. We appreciate you. What all you do, keep doing it. And keep eating.
All right. I will. I promise. And food definitely brings people together. It's brought us together.
Yes.
And with that, we'll sign it off. I am Dave with Faturday Omaha. Thank you so much for listening to us. We have Jackie Robbins of Rib Shack Omaha. And until we eat again, stay hungry. Bye.
Our show is recorded and produced by Faturday Omaha. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, as well as email FaturdayOmaha@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and stay hungry.
Faturday Omaha.
Eat this.